TREMOR is officially here in Mortal Kombat 1 as a cameo, though he's not full on like MKX playable character, but he's also here as a cameo to provide us 3 forms. He actually has 3 forms. It's Aftershock, Metallic, and Crystalline. And I feel that these are all great. So for my first impressions, I believe more per se, I would think that a lot of people are going to use him more for Combat League and real like strategic when the game slows down, right? When you play a game and you're getting to the higher levels, you had to slow down and become very strategic. And TREMOR comes off to me as more of a strategic character more than just a pure Punisher. Reason being, it's very hard to get airstream combats with him. Like if you got combos, air combos with TREMOR, then I'm more than sure that you're a boss. I only can get 1 because it takes a full cameo meter. Now, all these 3 forms are great. The Aftershock form is probably his most basic form. It reminds me like a rock Pokemon. He just gives you like a nice uppercut. And then he also has like, he has the most dynamic in that first form, which is cool. Again, adhering to casuals, like the first form already is kind of the basic simplicity of it. It just has an uppercut, it has a forward punish, and then it also has like a little string going on. But again, it's really hard to tack on these strings depending on what character you're using. I'm using Omni-Man right now in the video shown. Aftershock though is something that I like the most, I think, in my opinion. Next, you're gonna go into the Metallic. Metallic is dope. It has a nice air string that you can try to do. It has other formats also, but my favorite in Metallic, again, these are just my impressions, has a few others, but I think in Metallic my favorite one is that fire. That's when his fire stage is there. I like that fire air string that he does. Now the hard thing about this is that if you're gonna try to do a string for air combat, air combos with this Metallic form, you have to, this was the hard part for me because this was just my experience. And so when you're launching, you're going up, you're juggling up, you're getting up to an air combo, you're gonna be in the Aftershock form first, then you had to change to the Metallic, then you can operate an air, like that air fire, I think it's a fire ember, I forgot what it's called, and it shoots up that fire. But the only way to ever, because what I found out with TREMOR is that you can't just be in the, he has nothing for you if you're just actually fighting in the air, except for this transition. So this transition helps more with that. So if you're doing an air combo, there's no real way to activate them. At least from my experience, like what I said, people are gonna find workarounds probably, but at least a basic up front. When you're in the air, you have them launched, whatever you're doing. Like I'm doing a couple of combos. You have to switch from Aftershock to Metallic, then you immediately have to throw that fire up, and that takes the whole cameo meter, because transitioning doesn't take up anything, but transitioning plus an attack, that's when it takes your whole cameo burner. It does that for everyone. So say if I switch from like Aftershock to Metallic, then I use the fire emblem or the fire ember shooting up, that takes a whole cameo meter. So then you can't really string that long, and then you have to wait for him to completely come back. So a lot of it is ground essential, how he is, and I think that's when the game starts to slow down. That's more for the competitive nature. So I know TREMOR is going to be really loved in the competitive side, and that's not even talking about the Crystal Light form, which gives you a full-on punish, and then it also gives you that you have the rock throws and everything. I believe, is that in Metallic? I think it's in Metallic where you can do all the rock throws and stuff. The only thing I remember from the Crystal Light for sure is the projectile block, basically, where you're immune to all of that stuff. So, which people hated, like in Mortal Kombat X with TREMOR, and I like that. That again, that's far more for the competitive side, I believe. For casual me, I just want to be flashy and throw combos. That's just who I am when I play Mortal Kombat. I just love the punish, rush, do some combos, get in, get out. Again, I'm a casual, but I also take it higher than a casual level because I like to train on my strings and really get elevated on that. So the only thing that TREMOR can do if you're doing combos, I tried to do his Aftershock uppercut combo twice, but you can never really uppercut twice in the game, because when you do one, it could turn into a launcher, but then after that it ends up being like a fast like one where you can't even catch it. At least with Omni-Man you can't catch it. You'll have to probably find somebody like Smoke or Melina to catch him. And so yeah, it has been great. TREMOR for sure is built for a competitive person in Combat League that's gonna vary through everything. It's very unique what he does, and I'm super excited from when you grab, and then also when you do the fatality. It's also a great time. So he has been super fun for me, at least up front. And I would say some of my favorite strings with him, obviously I only could do one or the other. So if I do like the aftershock uppercut, I can't change to metallic really quick and then do one in the air. I tried to do the longest string I could do to hopefully regenerate that cameo meter, so then I could get an uppercut and aftershock, transition to metallic, then throw that fire emblem up for a string, but it just did not work. That was the sad part about it. So it is hard to really, unless you find a string that's gonna really like help regenerate that tremor cameo meter, it's really hard to get a couple of strings rolling with him unless they're just basic ground combat, or if you're just utilizing him separately. Like if you're changing to metallic real quick, or if you're changing to crystal light, get the projectile immune aspect going where you can just block everything. That's usually how a lot of people remember Tremor anyways, doing that stuff, known for it being OP. I think for Combat League that will work vastly to be able to do that, but in terms, like what I said, of a casual standpoint, it's been cool. I just can't get a lot of air combos. I love air combat, I love juggles, I love strings in totality, so it is very hard. He has simple combos rolling, and this was just with Omni-Man though, in my experience. Again, he barely came out today, just a few hours ago, Tremor, so I've been working on trying to get something rolling, like just so I can just share with you all and my first impressions. He is great though if you learn the switching system. Now you can switch opposite, right? You can just press like one button to like switch the cameo essential, and depending on what you are in, PC, console, whatever it is, however you have your cameo basic, and depending on your actual, just your control settings, I don't know what your bindings are or anything, so whatever you do for like a basic cameo setting, like how you press it, he switches. And so it looks like he's about to do something, but that kind of tricks you, so nothing's really going down. Then you press it again, it'll switch. So it switched one order, but if you press down in that, which for me is LB for the Xbox, so if I press down in LB, he switches downward, so it kind of reverses the order. So if you remember the orders of these, you remember what they do, and you remember that you're gonna do a full cameo meter burn, like a full one. If you're gonna switch and actually attack and punish at the same time, just recognize that, because that is more of like a risk, like a 50-50 essential, depending on who you are and how good you are at Mortal Kombat. If you do switch and also try to punish, if you whiff it, you're done with him. You're gonna have to wait for him to regenerate that whole time, which is a huge risk, which is why it would be a little bit more safe just to, if you're a ground pound like brawler, brute and brawler, like if you're rocking with like General Shao or Garrus, or sometimes Omni-Man, depending on how you use Omni-Man. I use Omni-Man way more in the air. It's a little bit simplified when you go air combat with him. The ground ones are a little bit slower and harder for me, but again, everybody to each their own. Everybody's dope in their own way. So yeah, he helps with the ground pound and the ground punishing a lot. Like there's a lot of lows that you can do to really sneak around and really mix it up a little bit. Of course, Tremor has mix-ups. I mean, he has 3 different forms. I hope you find something with 3 different mix-ups and 3 forms. Again, he's dope. He looks cool. He reminds me like the old school Ermac from Ultimate MK3. The way he looks, obviously not like all the rock gravel around him, but like the color orange, like that dirty orange. I like that, man. It reminds me of Ermac in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 when we first saw him there. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I like Tremor, man. Have you been utilizing Tremor? I think it's a fun time, and y'all let me know what's up. I appreciate y'all, man. Peace.